Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this. Know that I appreciate you. I'm going to make this quick, and that's because I have to get into the office. So, but I wanted to talk about, as you can see from the title, my personal COVID journey. I am healed. Praise God, I am healed. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that I experienced, because a lot of stuff is hearsay. A lot of times you hear, well, they said this and they said that, and then, the theys have a lot of power. The theys have a lot of power. So I wanted to give you my own personal journey so that you have some firsthand information. If you have not been touched by this illness, praise God. If you've not lost a loved one to this illness, praise God. But I wanted to give you a little bit of information about what I went through, some of the signs and symptoms that I had, what my process was like, and how I'm feeling now. And I did put down some notes because I won't remember everything if I don't put down the notes. And I'm doing this live. I was going to do an actual video at home, but I figured it might be better to do this live and then do what I would normally do, just download the video and post it on my YouTube channels. And I'm in my car because this is typically the only place that I have some true, well, I can't say quiet, but it's typically the only place that I can really do this. Like my daily vlogs I do from the car because it's really the only time that I get to like really speak freely and just talk about what's going on with me. So without rambling anymore, and like I said, I've got to get into the office, so I don't have very much time. And the other reason I'm doing this live is because I want to make sure that I do it quickly, or in a short time frame. I keep it quick, and that I hit all the points that I want to hit. So let's talk about my initial signs. My initial signs actually started on the 7th. And while I was sick, I had to start thinking about this. When did all of this really start? So although I gave the testing site one date, because that was the date that I really thought it was, as I'm trying to recover from this illness, I really began to backtrack and think about when I actually started excuse me, actually started seeing signs of something being different. So I actually started with the dry cough the evening of, from evening to morning, from the Sunday the 6th into Monday the 7th. That is when I started the dry cough. But I didn't think anything of it because I tend to cough at night if we need to vacuum. Like if there's a lot of dust up near the head of the bed, I cough because I'm inhaling that dust. And so I didn't think too much of it other than to say, well, maybe I need to go ahead and vacuum this carpet this weekend, and so that I can, sleep peacefully at night. I am a light sleeper and I don't sleep for very many hours. So when I do sleep, I want it to be a continuous full sleep. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to vacuum the carpet probably. That's probably dust. That continued on into Monday evening. It continued Tuesday evening. It basically continued the entire week. But again, I didn't think anything of it. I was really thinking I need to vacuum. There must be a lot of dust up here. So I was going to vacuum again that weekend. So that was Sunday night to Monday, Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday. Thursday morning, I'm in the car and I am, Thursday morning was the 10th. I'm in the car and I did actually start, was it Wednesday? I've got Wednesday here. So it must have been Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, I'm in the car, I'm recording like I normally do because I do my daily vlog. and I'm recording, and all of a sudden I feel the gunk. And I know that I'm not the only one. I know that my husband experienced this. So if the two of us can experience it, I know others are out there experiencing it too. But the residue and the gunk that your sinus passages that build up in your sinus passages, whenever I feel that, I try to spit it out, because I know if I swallow it, I'm absolutely going to get sick. And some people do it just because it's what they don't know how to spit it out, or it's just what they do, whatever the case. But every time I feel it, I try to spit it out, because I know if I swallow it, I am going to get sick with a cold, with the flu, with whatever. I know I'm going to get sick. So I spit it out. And I even said in my video, I spit this out because I know I'm going to get sick. And no, I didn't record me spitting it out, but I have that mental note. So this is Wednesday. Wednesday evening, afternoon, evening, I start sneezing. Still not really thinking too much of it. Again, maybe it's dust somewhere around me, you know, and my sinuses are being aggravated by it. So that is Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, I started feeling like I have a cold. And I'm like, oh, crud, I didn't spit that out soon enough. I must have a cold. I must be getting a cold now. And that's how I felt Friday and Saturday. Now, Friday was the viewing of a family member who unfortunately passed away. So Friday we are dealing with that. Saturday are the services, and we're dealing with that. Sunday, now I'm still feeling like I have a cold, but come Sunday, I'm feeling fatigued, all of those things that happen when you get a cold. And because I get the flu on a regular basis. When I say regular basis, I mean every year I get the flu. So I go from feeling like I'm getting a cold to start, and I'm thinking now, because of the fatigue, maybe I'm coming down with the flu. Still not thinking anything about COVID. Because I get the flu every year, because I catch a cold every year, I'm thinking that this is all that it is, nothing more, because I am taking all of the precautions. I am washing my hands or sanitizing my hands. I am wearing a mask on a regular basis no matter where I go. Even in the office at work, I am wearing a mask. We didn't wear masks while we were sitting at our desks, but if we got up to move around, we were wearing our masks. That's what I have done this entire year, even, with the other company that I work for. When we had to start wearing masks, that's what we did. We were wearing masks whenever we walked around. So I'm doing all of the things that I need to do. Not thinking COVID at all. Maybe I'm catching a cold. Maybe it's turning into the flu, because I get a cold every year. I get the flu every year. So I'm starting to feel the fatigue on Saturday. And I'm not really thinking, again, anything of it. Could be the flu coming on. We are doing a lot of running around. We were out just last night with family because of the passing of the family member. So maybe it's just that. And nothing more. And then on Sunday, I started feeling weak. Sunday is the 13th. I started feeling weak. That's interesting. I'm feeling weak. Do I typically feel like this when I get the flu? I'm asking myself this question. Is that something I typically feel? No, not so much. Okay, so I'm making a mental note. I'm feeling weak. Maybe this is a new symptom, because usually I do feel weak when I get the flu, but not at the start, like not before the flu comes on. It's usually while I'm actually in the midst of being sick with the flu that I start feeling weak and the fatigue is there. So that's Sunday. And then I start feeling a little bit foggy in the head, and I have a headache. But again, I'm not thinking too much of it, but I do notice that I have a headache. And so I've got medicine that I'm taking already. I'd already started taking medicine because, again, I'm thinking it's the cold. It's a cold or the flu. So I had already started taking medicine. And then I was drinking some lemon tea. And I could taste it, but I noticed that it wasn't that strong. And I was like, this isn't that strong. And I was thinking, well, maybe it's because it's old. And I said, no, this is the new box that I bought. So maybe it sat on the shelf for too long and I bought a box that really was older than it says it is. But I noticed it, that the tea was weak. This is Sunday the 13th. I hadn't paid too much attention to the smell thing until the husband fired up a cigarette, and I realized that I didn't smell it as much. But I could have a cold. Your sinuses act up with that. Your sense of smell and sense of taste act up with that. It could be the flu coming on. Your sense of smell and taste act up with that. So I'm thinking, but I'm not thinking it. You know, the question is in the back of my head, but it's not very prominent. And I've got 5 minutes, but it's not very prominent. So Monday rolls around and I'm having another cup of tea, and I'm beginning to feel more and more like it might be the flu. It might be the flu. And then my skin gets sensitive to the touch. That's another common thing for me. So all of the things that all of the things that I'm feeling are common things for me when I get sick. So it's not like these are all unusual things. I am making note and putting it in the back of my head, but I'm still thinking towards the front of my head. These are all common things that happen to me when I get sick with a cold or a flu. The headache, the fatigue, the weakness, and the skin sensitivity. But I know, but I'm still holding on to this could be more than, but I'm not concentrating on it. This could be more than. So my skin is sensitive. My tastes are diminishing. My smell is diminishing. And then Tuesday rolls around. I went to work Monday and everything. I come home, I have my cup of tea. It's even weaker than the night before. I'm really like, wow, that just really didn't taste like. And I even said to the husband, I really can't taste this tea. It's not as lemony as I need it to be. So Tuesday rolls around, and when I tell you it felt like someone had jumped me in my sleep, it felt like someone had jumped me and beat the crap out of me in my sleep. I could barely move come Tuesday. I went from, oh, this might be a cold, to, oh, this could be the flu coming on. I'm taking medication for it. I'm moving around. Even though I'm tired, even though I'm a little weak, I'm still able to move around, no problem. And then Tuesday, I could barely move. And all of this is inflamed and puffy, and oh my gosh, what is going on? This has got to be the flu. This has got to be the flu. Now, I will say one other thing before we get to Tuesday. I'm sitting at work Monday, and I noticed even more that my sense of taste is gone. And the true test was, we have Jolly Ranchers on our desks. I opened up a green apple Jolly Rancher and could not taste it. Could not smell it. And that is the strongest Jolly Rancher in the flavors of Jolly Rancher. That is the strongest, the green apple. Could not taste it, could not smell it. So in that moment, when I realized that, in that moment, I said, this is something more. But I don't want to 100% say it's COVID. So I go online to CVS and I schedule my testing. And my thought is, I don't have COVID, but I want to count it out. So I'm going to come to work tomorrow. I scheduled to take the test near the office. I'm going to come to work tomorrow. I'm going to go take the test on my lunch break, and then I'm going to come back to the office. Tuesday, I could not move. I could not get out of that bed. I sent my boss a text and said, I cannot come in. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I have the flu, but I'm going to get the COVID test to rule it out. He said, okay, thank you for letting me know. I go get that test, and when I tell you I felt like crap, I felt like someone had just run me over. That's how I felt. And the good thing is I had started sleeping on the sofa Sunday. So the husband had no symptoms whatsoever. The husband was already away from me by this point. So I go get the test done, and I leave the testing site and go to Walmart, which is right next door, and I get some more medicine, and I get some juice, and I get all the things I know that I'm going to need for a flu. Again, I had already started taking medication, but I was running low, so I went and I got the medicine. I go all the way back home. I get back on the sofa. I'm taking the medicine. Tuesday, the test. Wednesday, I'm still on the sofa. Thursday, I check my email, and I didn't see anything. So I go to the site, and sure enough, that test came back positive Thursday. So I show the husband, he's in the bed laying down. I show the husband what it says, and he looks, and then he goes back to sleep. It didn't hit him. It didn't hit him. So I say to him, are you going to go get tested? You need to go get tested. He's like, okay, whatever, and goes back to sleep. I am so upset, but I'm not showing it. And I need to stop this because I need to get into the office. I'm not showing it. I'm not showing it at all, how upset I am. But I'm so upset because here I am doing everything that I need to do to stay well and not contract this awful disease. And I have it. And on top of that, my husband, whose health is already compromised, may be in jeopardy of catching it from me, because we're in the same household and we've slept in the same bed for that entire week that I was feeling these symptoms and not really realizing that that's what they were. And I didn't get out of the bed and start sleeping somewhere else until Sunday night. And what I noticed is, and it was not the 6th or the 7th, but the week before, I was looking at one of my videos and I was like, wow, my throat looks like something's going on with it. It was really full and puffy looking, swollen looking, like my glands were swollen. Wouldn't you know, I read an article that said one of the signs of having COVID is if your thyroid glands are swollen. So in one of my daily vlogs, you can see my neck is fully swollen. And I'm just thinking, it was like that Thursday or Friday before that happened. And I'm just thinking, I'm bloated or something. But I noticed that my neck was really very puffy. And that was probably, in all honesty, the very first sign that I had COVID. But I didn't realize it at the time. That was actually probably the very first sign. And then we roll around into Sunday to Monday and the coughing starts. So this isn't the end of my story, because I do have to talk about getting that positive result and what happened afterwards, and having to talk to the health department and filling out paperwork to let people know that I did have it. Notifying everybody that I had to notify. When I say filling out paperwork, there's paperwork that you have to fill out for the health department, because they start calling you almost immediately after your positive test results come in. So you have to fill out the survey. But then I also, again, had to let everybody know that I had come in contact with, that I tested positive. including the people that I worked with, the people that I was with around Friday and Saturday. All of that had to be done. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but I probably will do an actual video for that, and not another live. So with that, peace and blessings. Remember to walk in your purpose and know that I appreciate you.